Hello and welcome to this Minecraft tutorial with me, Groover. Now today I've got for you this XP and gold farm which you see right behind me. Now the upshot of this particular farm is it uses no slime and no ice, so you don't need a slime farm and you don't need to travel miles and miles and miles to go and get your packed ice. So otherwise it's kind of a pretty straightforward build. It's pretty similar to the Snow Crash build with the rings up top for the spawning platforms and all that kind of thing. Like I say, the main difference is no slime, no ice. So let's just go down, have a very quick look down here. Got a little storage area set up. Let me get that on. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of gold from this. This is doing okay. Whoops. Yeah, I'm kind of happy. God, double chest worth. And there's plenty of space. So, you know, if the idea is that this one fills up, then this one, then this one, then this one. And then it goes to this one and all the way up. And the same with these ones. So if that fills up all the way up, it should move up to that one and so on and so forth. If it gets missed, it might get picked up by the next hopper. So I've got them set up in a way that the ingots are always going to get picked up first, then, no, not the ingots. The nuggets are always going to get picked up first, then the ingots, then the rotten flesh. And then in this one, I don't actually have a sorting system on it. So the idea here was that we'll just collect anything that happens to get this far. There's a bit of a fail-safe because the number of items that come out is ridiculous. And then if you don't like the look of the items, you can just grab them up and pop them in the bin. And the bin will get rid of them. And the same goes upwards, so you might get the odd bit making it this far. Wow, look at that, blimey. Lots of stuff made it through. So yeah, that's that. Let's go up top and have a little look. See if we can show it in action as well. How do I do this? Like that. There we go. So stand in the middle, shoot a pigman, and then wait. Don't forget to be in survival mode. That's a good note for myself. Great thing here is there's usually a pigman waiting just to get slapped. So let's change over. Game mode. Whoops, I need the /. Game mode 0. And I've already got 120 levels. Let's get rid of those. XP minus 120 L at G Groover. And away we go. Let's just take away that extra 1 as well. Right, so let's go get him. Bang. And then we just wait for a few seconds and see what happens. Spawn rates are pretty good. I find it to be very efficient. Here we go, the first batch coming up now. And then basically it just flows pretty much continuously like this. You know, you can be up to level 30 in about 1 minute. There we go, 17 already. Takes no time at all to get the levels up. And over here I've made a little space for an enchanting area, a couple of anvils and some storage and things. And I put in a mending bow and an arrow just in case there's nothing sort of stood in the window here waiting. So there you go, that's it in action, that's it working. So why don't we go ahead and start building this thing. Right, let's go. Right, for this build you're going to need all of these items that you see here in this chest. You might need a few spare, a few bits and bobs, but I'm pretty sure this is exactly spot on. And this will give you the enchanting area and the storage area up at the top there. So yeah, basically everything that's there below the slabs you're going to need pretty much these exact quantities of. Above the slabs and including the slabs, this just basically means you're going to need a heck of a lot of slabs. A lot of slabs and a lot of solid blocks. You can use any solid block you like and any slab that you like. I would advise not using the wooden ones though, just because bad things happen to wood in the Nether. Okay, so let's move on. So the first things that you're going to want to do is to get above the Nether. Now you're going to have to poke around for a bit to find the ideal place, but the ideal place looks a little bit like this. So that little notch right there is perfect. And the reason why is it's at 127. So if you look at the bottom layer, it says looking at 449, 127. So 127 is the very top of the bedrock. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to place in a ladder there. And pro tip, take obsidian with you and a flint and steel. so that when you get on top of the Nether, you can actually build yourself a portal to get back out. Okay? Don't forget those. Now I'm in survival mode right now, so you should get a fair idea of how this works. So we've got the ladder there. We're going to end the pearl straight into the ladder, and at the same time we're going to press forward so that we climb on top of the ladder, which should put us right inside that top block, and then we just jump straight out. So let's give that a try. So ender pearl, forward, and yeah, you saw that? That was extremely easy. Yeah, so once you're at this stage, you can just jump out, mark where you came through. Well, you don't need to mark it, but you know, basically once you're up here, there's different ways of getting back up in the future and up and down, and you can actually break the bedrock. But you know, you can go away and look at that, find a nice tutorial for that, because it takes a bit of time and it sort of detracts from explaining what we're doing up here in the first place, which is building this golden XP farm. So yeah, once you're up here, get your portal organised, and then you've got a way of getting back down and back up really quite easily. So let's just build that in, and boom, boom, ready to go. So we can get back to the overworld whenever we want, and we're safe. So we're up here now. Next up, we're going to build up our pillar. Right, so next is to build up this pillar going all the way up to the sky limit. But before we do that, we really should make this spawn proof. Now, spawn proofing is really, really important in this build. If you don't spawn proof things, then you're going to get things spawning in bad places, passing on the aggro, killing you. It's not going to be nice. So you need to just make sure that everything is spawn proofed as and where possible. So next up, we need to build up to the sky limit a really big pillar. Doesn't really matter where you put this. I would probably stick quite close to where you come up, because the likelihood is that you're going to want to incorporate that where you come up from the actual nether area underneath into the build, so you want to go straight up to the top. So I'm just going to go straight here with it and go all the way up to the sky limit, which is 255. So I guess I'll see you in a bit. Right, so we're now all the way up here at 255. If I press on F3, you can see that I'm looking at 255, which is there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that one out, so we're at 254, and add in a half slab. Now from here we're going to go out 32 blocks in each direction, including this block. So it's going to be 31 on top of this block, if you know what I mean. So let me see if I can explain that. So it's probably easier if I actually just show you. Probably best not to go out in the direction of the ladder first, because you'll fall straight down onto it because it's a half slab. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you counted this one as 1, then you're going 31. If you counted this one as 1, then you're going 32. And you need to go out that much in each direction, just a single wide thing initially. So I'll be back in a moment. I'll show you the result. Right, next is to make this into a circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to go across 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, then across 1, then 1, 2, 3, cross 1, 1, 2, 3, cross 1, 1, 2, cross 1, 1, 2, 1. And then from there on, it's going to be a couple more sort of single ones in between to connect it up with the other side. What you can see is I've already done a little bit, so if you see what I mean, we've got 6, then 4, then 3, then 3, then 2, then 2, then 1s. Just connect them up in between. And then same on the other sides here. And you just want to do that all the way around. So I'll go finish that off and I'll show you what I've got at the end of that. Right, so you should now have a really good looking circle, a bit like that. Now next we're going to make another good looking circle, and that goes on the inner side here. So from the centre, if you count out 16 blocks, you should get to around about here somewhere. And from there, one block beyond that, we're going to start putting in our next circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then diagonals to connect them up. So let's just do that on this side as well, so we can see it all building up. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 1, 2, 3, whoops, no there, 1, 2, and then diagonals connecting it up, hopefully. Fingers crossed. There we go, and that's what it should look like. So it's not perfect, but it's not bad. So just to cover that again, basically from the centre block and including the centre block, you go out 16 blocks to there, and then on the next block is where we start putting in this circle. So let's go ahead and fill that in, and directly after that we might as well fill in all of this area between the two circles, because that's going to be all solid slabbed blocks, just like this. There. So yeah, basically we're going to fill in all of this area with slab blocks. Now if you want to save on the blocks, you don't have to fill in the entire area. You can just fill in every third one like this. So going straight out like that. Whoops. And it's also a bit less work. For this level it's fine, because all that you really want to do is stop the gas spawning down below on the next level. And the gas need a 4x4x3 area, I think, or is it 4x4x5? I can't remember. Basically they need a huge area to spawn in. This will stop them from spawning. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish off this circle and fill in this outer ring, and we'll see you in a moment. Right, there we are. That's the roof. Now next up we've got something to go under the roof, which is basically the rest of the building. So we've got the roof on there. Now the next level that we want to put in is going to be directly underneath that, and that's going to be right here. So that's 2 blocks clear between it, and then we're going to actually do that with slabs again. Whoops, right on that one at the top half of that block. And then we're going to go down 2 again, and then we're going to do the same. And then we're going to go down 2 again, 2 full blocks, and the same. So basically what we're going to do is have 3 full levels, exactly the same as this, but at these levels as well. Does that make sense? I think it does, but there we go. So you're going to need to build this out, turn them into circles exactly the same as that, and yeah, quite a lot of work, but we'll get on with it, and we'll see in a few moments, and I'll show you exactly what it should be looking like. Right, so this is what you should now have. You've got your 3 full spawning platforms right there. Look at that, lovely spawns all over them. You don't want to make this too big, because if it's too big they don't actually come towards it and it just takes up the spawn cap. And you know, it's about a balance of size and efficiency. The closer they are to get down the chute, fall down, die, and release the spawn cap again and get more spawns up here. So it's just sort of balance. I wouldn't bother making it any bigger than this. You can if you want, but I've tried it, the efficiency goes down. So next up we need to actually build up the running ways where they're going to run down into the area and drop down the chutes. So you need to pick a side first. I'm going to say that this side is going to be my short side, because 1 or 2 of the sides only have a width of 2 for the running gangways, and the other 2 have a width of 3. Now the reason that 2 of the ways have a width of 2 is so that we can fit in a walkway to actually put in our enchanting area. And I'm going to put the enchanting area in right here on this side, so I've decided that this is going to be my short side, as it were. So I'm going to go 2 on this side all the way down, and then 2 on this side all the way down. 1, 2, 3. And then on the other 2 sides I'm going to go in with the full 3, like that. So we need to broaden those out a little bit, and yeah, just basically draw it all the way up to the centre there, and we'll sort of do a little bit of organising at the centre, and then we'll go down and start building from the bottom up, so it sort of meets here in the middle where you're going to be standing and AFKing. Okay, so let's fill that out and I'll be back in a moment. So we've done the bottom ones, we also need to do the top ones as well, so in exactly the same way we're just going to drag them round like this, going all the way back into the centre and all the way back out. So yeah, we can get on with that and back in a mo. Right, now that we've done these 2 little walkway areas, I'm just going to organise this little AFK platform a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to come around on the underside of that slab, so right there, because it's quite a tight little area in the middle, and you just don't want anything AFK or anything spawning in there when you go away from the platform for a little bit. So that's where that's going to go, like that. Right? That's where they're going to... No, 1 minute. That's where they're going to drop down. This is where your like outer wall area is going to be. So, sorry, I'm just sort of reminding myself as we go along how this fits together. So those are the two that I don't need, and we can build our little walkway out there like this right here. So we go 1, 2, 3, and then sort of out here it's going to be out of range of this. So let's just knock these ones out as well. And we're going to change out these blocks a little bit later. I should say you don't need to use iron blocks for any of this. You can use any blocks that you like. You just need to use slabs and half slabs, where I'm using slabs and half slabs. Right, so that's where you're going to walk out and do your little enchanting area. And this is where the XP is going to come flying up from the bottom. So let's see, what next? We need to get these platforms finished up, and then we'll go down to the bottom and start working upwards. So next up, what you want to do is add some fencing around this area. So let's get some fencing. I like the nether brick fencing, just because it doesn't burn. I can't remember, but I'm not sure if fence is meant to burn, but I've definitely had burning fence before. Anyway, so we need to go around the edge like this and just fill all of this in with your fencing, so that they can't just run off the edge anywhere they like. They're going to be forced to go down your little tunnel. And that's where I'd go up to, cross over, and do the same again, right round, and just follow it, like that. And we'll do that on all 3 layers, and we'll be back in a mo. Right, looking good, I think anyway. Now next up is we need to put in the little runways for them to go up. So the way that I do this is I find the middle block, which I think is right there. Yeah, that's right there. Come back to, and this is where I'm going to put in my stairs. So you can use any type of stair. Let's see, what kind of stair should we use today? Brick stair. I never use bricks for building. Don't like the look of them, so I'll use them here. Why not? Right. So we start off with the stairs, and we're just going to go straight up like this, and we knock out a little 4x3 area right there, and the stairs go in like that. And then one more. Whoops. Like that. Right, so that gets the pigment from the bottom level up to the middle level, and we need to repeat that on all of the sides again. So one here, one there, one there, one there, and then once they're up here, I personally just go straight from here, 1, 2, 3 on both sides. And the kind of logic for this is once they get up here, there's twice as many pigment to actually get up to the next level. I'm not sure it's a great logic, but you know, that's the way that I like it. You can just do one set of stairs if you like on one side. The other thing is with this, it's kind of even. So let's see, we go 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. And I like 3 wide as well because it gives them plenty of space to get up here. And like that. And then we do the same on the other side right there. I'll take those out because I like to be neat as I go along. Now from there go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Counting with Groover. Whoops. So one there, back in there, and there we are. So now your pigmen from the bottom level can get to the top. When they're angry with you, they can make their way all the way up, come running straight down here. They get to this point and they fall straight down. So that's kind of what you want. Let's go away and do the other 3 sides that are left, and we'll be back in a moment. So that's our stairs going up all done. So the pigmen at the bottom can get to the top and they can run along here and try and get to you. Next up, I just want to put in some rails here, really. Something to stop the pigmen from actually getting out. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm just going to do this in half slabs because it's cheaper than glass. And if you're building this in survival, you know, you don't want to have too much glass in your build because it's a bit of a pain, really, isn't it? You have a lot of faffing to do. So that's where they're going to drop down. So that's how far I'm going to take it. I'm going to add a slab on top of there and pull this all the way along as well. So I'm using the half slabs again, lower half slabs, so nothing should be able to spawn on top of there. And yeah, basically just drag that all the way around again. Whoops, it's weird. Maybe I'm just being a bit misplacing of them. So yeah, I'm just going to build out these little runways so that they can't run off the sides and get lost on the way to their death to give us their golden XP. So let's do that. Right, so next up is putting in some trapdoors. Now I've put some trapdoors on a couple of the sides here, but we want them on all of the runways right there, so that when they run up, they think they can run across, and they run across the trapdoor and fall straight down to the death. And that's that. Now next up, we need to start doing the work down below. So we need to work out where they're going to be gathered up and all that kind of thing, and putting in the redstone and all the things that we need to get this to work. So we need to find out what level we're at here. So let's have a look at that, and we're looking at 252. Right, so we need to go down 34 levels from there. So 252 minus 34 is 218. Now if you're building this all the way up at sky limit like me, then it's going to be the same calculations. So let's just go down, and we need to put on our F3. Oh, that's interesting. And just keep going till we get down to 218. Right, there we are. So I'm looking at 217, so that's 218. Now the easy way to do this is to just place the block straight against the ladder, and it comes up directly behind you. Now this is where we want them to actually drop down and hit some hoppers. So if I just come up here, step off there, and get some hoppers going and start building up this ring. So let's just do the easy stuff first. We need to build this up a little bit. So we're going to go out 3 there. Oh, when I say 3, it's going to be like this. It's going to be a little circle of 3 on each side. So you've got an air space around there, around that middle block on each side. So let's have a look at that. See if this looks a bit more realistic when you see it. Right, so this is the level that we want them to actually land on. So we want hoppers right here on each of these. We want them facing straight down, basically. So let's just go down onto another little drop right there. And I can just place a block on each side for simplicity, or each side that I can see anyway. Whoops. Huh? Oh god, I'm no good at working at heights. I'm sorry. Don't do that at home, everyone. Right, so what we need to do is we need to put in blocks right here all the way around in a little ring, and we're going to have the hoppers facing straight down into those blocks, and the blocks that don't have hoppers on, it's fine. We can use those for a bit of structure in a few minutes. So yeah, we can just put that ring in there like that, and we'll take out what we don't need in a few moments. So let's get us some hoppers. Hoppers right there, and we're just going to put in 3 on each one of them. So right there, and this should line up exactly with the holes up above. Even though some of them are only going to be 2 wide, it doesn't really matter. We can have 3 hoppers because the items just... there's too many items to deal with, to be honest. I don't know how to get all of the items gathered up in one very short time in such a small space. So, I can hear a ghast. Right, so that's what we want to do there. We're going to take these ones back out, and we're going to put in a ring at this level now. So we go right there with it. Let's get across there. And whoops, don't forget to shift click when you're working on the hoppers. Right, so we've got that. We're going to build this out to here, behind each of the hoppers. Right, so we're going to have these 3 going straight up to the top, and these 3 going straight up to the top. On the side where it's 2, what we want to do is we want to go up 1, go up 2, and then take that one back out. And then this one's going to go all the way to the top, but this one is just going to go like that. So we can go like that right there, right now, just to just to remind us that this is the 2 side, and we're going to go all the way up with that. Right, so let's get us some pistons in there now. I've definitely got that on the right side, yeah. So standard pistons, not sticky pistons, and we're going to have them facing this way all the way around. So one there, whoops, shift click, one there, one there, one there, one there. Oh, I keep forgetting to do that properly. And then one there. Oh, come on, come on, I can do better than this. And then same on the other side, but working back towards the middle. So what this actual golden XP farm, moving the XP is all reliant on the translocator bug in 1.9, 1.10. That doesn't seem to be going anywhere fast, so I think it's a reasonable usage of it. So yeah, basically we can translocate the XP where it lands right here all the way back round to this one spot on the far side over here, and then we can translocate it upwards. So this here, this side, needs to be built out like that and then sent all the way up to the top as well. So why don't we build up these sides, because wherever you see the side of a piston, that's where we're going to need to have something. Now wherever I do see a side of a piston, I'm going to mark it with a couple of slabs instead of the standard blocks, and that's because we're going to be sending power into the pistons here, into this block, which will power the piston and so on and so forth. So if we do it like that, then it makes it easy to tell from the outside. So let's just get on with that all the way around. Whoops. And then into here, I'm going to go from there up a couple, so that all of the XP is gathered in this one little spot right here. And that. And then all the way up there. You could probably get away with not filling in these corners, but you know, stuff comes spurting out of them already, so I think it's probably best if you didn't. So I'm going to build this up to that level right there, and I'm going to build that up to the same level and the same there. So the reason I'm doing that is because when the translocation thing pushes the XP, some of it might come out the corners, but if we fill in the corners, then there's less chance of it coming out the corners. Basically, containing the XP has been a bit of a problem. Now I've made a little bit of a mistake here, and that is that these middle ones need yet another piston facing into the middle like that, right? So that there, and that there, right? Because what happens is the pigmen fall down, some of the XP will land on top of this one, or it'll land in there, or on the 3-sided ones it lands in there, and the stuff that sits on there, a lot of it doesn't get moved. Now this is going to move that XP into these 2 sides. So let's build this up in the middle here, and then we're pretty much done with the first part of the piston translocation bit. Now in the middle there, we want that to come up as well, and we want it to come up there and there as well. And this side is... Now, do I need anything there? Yeah, we might as well go straight up solid with that. So, if we build everything up to this level, then we can drag it all up to the top, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, let's just go around and do that. So, you should now have something a bit like this. We've built up all of the sides just a little bit, and we're just going to fill in a couple of areas. So, like this down here, in the corners, you don't need to have anything there. So you've got the 2 chute coming down there from the top, and you've got the 2 chute on this side, so you can put blocks straight over the top of them. Now you need to make sure that there's an air gap in that corner, because that piston's going to extend into that corner, pull the stuff back out. Well, okay, let's do this from the top. So if I take that out, this piston's going to extend, pull it behind it, put it over there, At the same time as that one extends, this one's going to extend, and that's going to shift any XP that's sat on top of there to the either side, and then it gets pulled through. That one gets pulled through to there, 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 there. So you kind of need to leave the air gaps in the right places. Now another thing which is worth doing whilst we're at this stage is add in some buttons. Now the only reason that you want buttons in here is to stop things spawning on top of the hoppers. So you want one there and one there. And same on this side, one there, one there. There we go. We'll do all of these so that you actually see exactly what I'm doing. And there. So nothing can spawn on top of that. Nothing should be able to spawn on top of that anyway, but you know, paranoia kicks in. This is Minecraft. You don't know what they're going to do with the logic. So 2 there, 2 there. And then 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. So you got your chute there, coming straight down. They're going to land in here, die, give off their XP, it's all going to get pulled through. So the stuff that we don't need to drag up. Ooh, now where's my I've gone and buried my actual side where everything's going to gather. Don't do that. Don't bury this side. Where everything gathers up in the middle, you want to leave that open. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky in survival, and that is because you kind of need to get in here and you need to place in your piston facing down right there. Right, so that one, no, this is the wrong place. Oh, come on Groover, get your head together. Get your head together. I'm drinking my coffee now. So, right, it must be here. It's this one, because everything pulls back into here. Now what you want to do is get outside somehow, like that, and you want to put in a piston facing straight down in there. Right, so that's going to pull any XP that gathers up in here from all of these other ones straight up, and it's going to place it right there. And then next up you're going to want to basically get all of these in first. So let's do that now. So we want to get this up all the way to the top, and every second one you want to put in your piston. So like that there, whoops, not there, but there. If there's a trick to putting in pistons so they always face the way that you want them, I really want to know it. I'm absolutely useless, I'll never get it right. So let's put that one in and then just start working upwards and see if I can get this one first time. Yeah, get in there now. So basically every other spot you want a piston facing directly downwards, which is going to pull up your XP straight up this line. Right, lovely. So next we need to fill this all the way up. And personally I would advise around anything with your XP where you're trying to move it is to have blocks all the way around. So not just like there and on the opposite side there. You want it to be in all 8 positions around these blocks. And that just means that things are less likely to go spurting out all over the place. So let's fill that up all the way and then we'll have a look and see what you think. Right, so that's the translocator pistons put in there, ready to pull the XP all the way up. Now next up is actually lifting this area right here. So you want to pull these all the way up to the top as well. And let me just, I think that one, yeah, we should do that one as well, just because items go flying and things. So we want that to be nice and solid all the way around. Right, so we want to drag all of these up to the top as well. So these are the chutes which the pigmen are going to fall directly down. And it just keeps them in place, keeps them tidy and all that kind of thing. Before we go anywhere, let's just put some slabs down on here to spawn proof this little area here, because we're not going to do anything else with these. This is basically, these little bits are done with. Right, so next let's pull those straight up to the top and then we've got our chutes ready, and then we'll come down and wire all of this up. Right, let's go. So that's what you should now have. We've gone and filled that in pretty solidly. Little blocks there, not very pretty at the moment, but you know, hey ho. It's very practical, very practical. So next up is to actually get in some of this piston mechanics stuff working. So first thing that I would do is I'd add extra blocks right here where all of the pistons go through. And right, next up we want to build a ring right here that connects all of these up. So we're going to take some of these blocks back out in a minute or two, but that's just, it's easier to do it like this, to be honest. Is that the right level? That's the right level, perfect. So let's get on with that. Right, you should now have this little ring going all the way around the base, and let's go around and place in some more pistons. This is pretty piston heavy, but you'll probably know that already. So we're going to put a piston there facing upwards. They have to be facing upwards in these positions. They're facing upwards. They're facing upwards. Basically, all of these little junctions, we need a little piston just facing upwards like that. Little piston action going on. And then one more. Right, so that's all of our pistons in. Next, let's put in all of our repeaters. So I'm going to put in all the ones on the main line here, there first. So facing into the piston on 2 ticks, facing into the piston on 2 ticks, into the piston on 2 ticks, and so on and so forth, all the way around. So they're always facing into the piston. Now, you want to work out in 2 directions. So you do 2 sides, and then you do 2 sides, because the pulse is going to come from here and work both sides simultaneously and give you like a nice timed action. So let's do these ones next. And that's on 2, that's on 2. Now, next up, I'm going to take that out because I know I don't need that one. So that's where the line runs out. But we're going to use the other line. We'll have a look at that in a moment, but take one of those out. So this is like the end of the line for both of them. Now we need to put repeaters in here on 1 tick, 1 tick, 1 tick, and the same on all of them, just facing directly inwards into that block. Now on these ones, that's going to power that block, which is going to power that piston and the piston that's inside. So both those pistons fire at exactly the same time. Right, there we go. So that's that. Now let's go and connect all this up with some redstone. So basically all of these going all the way back to this one piston right here needs connecting up with redstone. Whoops, missed a bit. And there. Right, let's get ourselves some sand now, and we'll put that in place of the ladders because we don't need the ladders anymore. So the sand goes directly on top of all of these, and what you really want to do is have a half slab on top of the sand. Now what's going to happen is the piston's going to fire, it's going to push the sand up and the half slab, and the half slab's just going to stay at the right height. So it's easy just to do it like this. Oh, and before I forget, we need to put in a solid block on the back of this one here with a slab on top, and you need to do that for all of the pistons like these ones, because otherwise this will start translocating items and XP and all sorts straight out of the farm. So you want that to be like that as well on all 4 sides. So sorry about that, completely missed that out. So that there. So that's all of them done? Yeah. So let's get back to the sand. Sand on top of all of these pistons with a slab on top of them, just to make them spawn proof. Okay, so let's do those. Right, so now we're going to put in a little clock. So we come to this corner with the single piston that's sticking up on it, and we come back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we follow that back with 1, 2, 3, and then 1 on top. And you can take that one away if you wish, not needed. But what we do need to do is put a slab on top of there and a slab on top of there. This is all about spawn proofing. So we're going to put a repeater in there, and we're going to put that on 4 ticks, and then we're going to put a repeater in there going in on 2 ticks, and then we're going to put a torch in against there, and then some redstone in going like that. Now that gives us our little clock. You can play about with the timings if you want. You might be able to get away with a bit of a faster... Yeah, that kind of works. So you can put that one on 1 tick. Let's see if we can get away with this on 3. Yeah, no, you see, if you reduce the tick too much on there, it doesn't give it chance to get the power all the way through. So that one's got to be on 4, whatever happens. This one on 1. So as you can see, that's passing the pulse all the way around. And everything's just pulsing at a nice timing. Looks really nice. I really like that. Right, so that's it all working really nicely and smoothly. Next up is we need to get some power into these pistons up here, and we'll run that off the same timing as this. So what we want is we want to double check. Yep, that's exactly where our piston is. I'm going to put in a couple of half slabs there so it's absolutely clear. We're going to come out by 2, and then we're going to go up by 1, and then we're going to have a torch right there and a torch right there, and a bit of redstone going in there. And next we can run some redstone round like this and straight into there, and we need to put in a repeater. Where do we want the repeater? Probably here on 2 ticks. Right, so you see that's powering that. That's going to be powering the piston behind there, whilst there's a block there, of course. We can't see it, but just have to say my word for it. And then we've just got to build this up all the way up in this kind of fashion. So exactly the same thing, every other block. I think it's probably easier if you do it like this. So going like that, every other block is going to be where the pistons are, and that's where your power is going to be going in. So let me build that up and I'll show you what I get at the end. So this is what it should now look like, and you've got your little torch tower going straight up, and you can see the pulses running all the way to the top, and each time the torch on the left gets fired, that fires a piston, and it's going to be doing a lovely job. Now at this stage it's probably a good idea to do a little test if you can. Now I can get my hands on bottles of enchanting, so let's see, enchanting, bottle of enchanting, and I'm just going to chuck some down this hole right here and see what happens. Now this is running continuously, so I should get this coming up any moment now. Just a moment, that top one is not firing. That's because I haven't done this properly. Oh goodness me. So there needs to be an extra one there, and you need to make sure that you definitely have this powered. So I think I've done with pistons for now. So yeah, like that. And there it is. Lots and lots of XP. So let's do that again. Do it properly this time, Groover. Come on. Let's give it a second or two. And because it's pulsing all the way up, you should get it pretty quickly. Look at that. Looks lovely. Works perfectly. So now in principle all of that's working, so we need to put in a bit of a fail-safe really. So what I had here was I had a pressure plate on top of here, and then I had a little line running out in that direction going downwards and downwards, so that when I was stood on the pressure plate this was on, and when I wasn't stood on the pressure plate it was off. Now if you want you could have this running continuously, it's entirely up to you. Personally I'd like to have an on-off switch. I'd like it to be right up here, just so that when I'm stood here it's definitely working. So let's get us a pressure plate, and it has to be a stone one. Well, it doesn't have to be a stone one, but you really don't want to use a wooden one. And let's just clear myself out of some of the things that I'm not going to use for a little while. Sand and things. Right, so the pressure plate goes there. I'm going to grab a ladder from there and I'm going to put it on the opposite side, because I want this to be the access route still. But I need to get rid of that block right there, so that what happens is when I'm stood on the pressure plate I want that redstone dust right there to be powered. Okay, now next up we need to work out which way we're going. So we want it to go in this direction towards the two-sided ones. So this is where your enchanting setup's going to go, and I'm going to drag the line out first across a bit and then right a bit, and boom boom, and then I can just go out there, and that takes me out to the outside world without interfering with any of the other stuff. So I could either go that way or that way, but either way it's all fine. let's just go and take that in. Whoops. Oh goodness, I'm no good with ladders. You can change the ladder out for whatever type of elevator thing you might want. So next up is getting this line down, and we've got lots of space right here to do that, so we can go straight down there, and we're going to want to step it down every so often. So what we can do is, no, let's start off with this, because every so often you're going to have to strengthen the signal a little bit, and it'd be nice if that got strengthened on the sides of these things here rather than anywhere else, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But you'll see what I mean. So we're going to come down with this all the way to the bottom. So I guess what will be best is I'll see you there. Right, so I'm now at the bottom. I've nearly finished this off. I'm just going to terminate that on camera with you. So I'm going to knock out that so it's making less noise. What I decided to do here was, if I can go all the way up through the middle, basically against this wall, whenever I hit this wall, I decided to put in a repeater. Right there, single tick. And we'll do the same all the way down here. So there, and there, and then everything else is redstone. Now you don't have to worry too much about spawn proofing this, because things shouldn't be able to spawn on the redstone itself. I've seen this done in tests and all that kind of thing, so I'm just going to leave it like that basically. So let's go down there, bang bang. Right, now we need to step this down all the way down to here. Now let's see, is this going to work nicely? I think it might do. Yeah, let's get some redstone straight onto this. Basically what we want to do is that when that's on, this is going to be locked. And what we can do to do that or achieve that is to just simply run across here and put a torch right there. Right, so there we go. That's what we've got. So from that last one, we're just going to come straight stepping all the way down to here, and we're going to put a torch on the end there. So when we put the torch back in there, that's unpowered, because this line is powered and basically it's locked. So if I put in a torch right there, that unpowers that torch, unlocks everything. So basically when we're stood on the pressure plate up the top, this entire line gets powered, unpowers this torch, this switches on. There's going to be a little bit of a delay between you standing on that plate up top and it actually coming on, but it should be fine. Shouldn't take long at all. So yeah, that's that. And if we stand here, we should start hearing the noises. There we go. I can certainly hear them anyway. And you can see that flashing. Okay, so that is basically most of this setup. We're just going to do a little bit of finishing up here, and then we'll move on to the storage space down below. And then we're almost there. That's more or less the farm finished. Okay, to finish up this area up here, we need to kind of create an area where the pigmen can't get past. So just like this, I'm just going to wrap these round, and then they'll come running up to the end. They can't get past this point, they fall straight down. Pretty simple stuff. Same on this side here, wrapping it round. Now the one thing is that there, I want the XP to be able to come through. Look at these guys, they're all pushing each other off. Fools! So I am going to lift that up right there. Actually no, I'm going to have to do it from that side. And can I get underneath? Not really. Maybe I need to get down this hole for a second and just put a little bit extra on there. So the reason I want that is so that the XP can just flow straight out of here nice and gently towards me, and nothing to be able to spawn on there. So if we have a look on the other side, oops, can we get above there? Have I blocked it all in entirely? I think I have. Yeah. So, oh gosh, yeah, we need to spawn proof that. And then round the back here we need to spawn proof that, and we need to do the same there. So that's spawn proofed. So all of that spawn proof, the XP is going to come up and it's going to flow out towards you, and nothing's going to be able to get you from there. If you wanted, you could take these two out, it wouldn't be a problem, but I'm going to leave them in. And then I'm going to drag that straight across, and I'm going to do the same. No, I'm not. I'm going to do that because that's better. In fact, let's just do all of this like this, so you've got that kind of design going on. So this is where the pigmen are going to run up to. Sorry, losing concentration, getting distracted by the pistons going off. So that, yeah, like that, and that there. So the XP can flow out through there, nothing can spawn in this corner, the pigmen can't get to you, we're all good, we're all good. So let's fill in that corner as well. How do I get there? Like that. And that there, that there, that there. Going straight across like that there. Might as well come all the way across like that, and that there. Right, so it's kind of nice and even looking. Let's change this one back over to look like the rest. So 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now should I change this? Yeah, I need to get rid of that. And I might as well make that solid as well. Right, so that is the farm finished. For all intents and purposes, that is it. And what I had on my other one was I had a bow and arrow sat here so that you could shoot a pigman to get it to aggro. What I found was quite often they just wander up here to have a look at what you're doing. You just give them a slap, but not like that. That's bad, because that breaks things. Don't do it in creative mode. So yeah, let's build up this area here. So we've got our little enchanting area. And we just need to build this up to whatever size you want, really. You can use all of this area for all sorts of things. And the pigmen will still be aggroed at you whilst you're working over here, but the XP will be building up. So as soon as you go over here and stand on this again, you'll get a great big flood of XP. So that'll be quite nice. Yep, let's build this up now and we'll get our little enchanting area set up. So let's go out about 6 blocks from that corner. 1, 2, 3. So there we go, we've got a nice little 6x6 area there. That's all we're going to need. Let's get ourselves some bookshelves, books. Let's get ourselves some anvils. And let's get ourselves some chests. Now I want an ender chest and I want normal chests. Always very handy with these sorts of setups is to have ender chests nearby. So I'm just going to go there with it. Let's see, can I? Not sure I can do this, but let's see. Yeah, that works, because you want to make sure it's spawn proofed on top. So I think I did this, I've built this about 3 times already, and on one iteration I actually had the half slabs at this height, which was above the level, and that doesn't really work. You want them to be below this little point here, and then you can fit things on. So let's see, so that's my 5. There's more than enough bookshelves there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I want an enchanting table. And because I don't want everything to be floating, I want to put slabs underneath this, so the solid slabs. Whoops, not like that. Like that. Let's get this spawn proofed on top. Now, putting in a couple of chests right here and the anvils right there. So, why don't I do it like this, just for a bit of interest. Whoops. And then anvils. And then I'm going to put slabs over the top of them as well, just to be sure. I don't think things can spawn on top of them, but, you know, it's easy to get paranoid. And then I'm going to put my ender chest right there. And again, half slab on top of it. So let's see, how's that looking? That's looking alright. So when you get up here, you got your enchanting area. You can tidy up however you want. I'm sort of leaving these open so that if you don't see any pigmen down these, well, from here, if you can't shoot a pigman from here, you can go over here and get a really good shot at one. So all of that's spawn proofed, all of that's ready to go. That's all done. Now let's give this a proper test. So game mode 0. I should have sorted myself out with some stuff first, shouldn't I? Game mode 1. And let's give me a bow. Whoops, not a bowl. Bow. Arrow. Item frame. Now what I found was, if you're doing the whole fishing thing, you'll have loads of mending bows. I would just leave one here in the item frame. No problem at all. Pretty simple. Anyone can use it. So let's change my game mode over again. And let's find us a pigman. Yeah, you look good. And let's just stand here and wait for the XP to start flowing to us. Now what you find is on this side here where it's just got 2, they walk into the corner and they go straight off. So you always have a clear deck here. Oh, there we go. Hear that? That was me going up a level. Pretty efficient, pretty nice. And it's just a nice steady flow of XP. So that's all working. I'm getting no magma cubes up here. If you want to, you can take out these blocks directly above your head. They don't really play any role now. You can take them right out to above these blocks if you wanted, so you got a bit of skyline. So yeah, now anybody who's interested can come down with me and watch me build up some storage. Right, so I've come down my ladder here. Like I say, you can replace this with whatever kind of elevator you want, but for me the ladder's absolutely fine for now, for showing you how this works. And we're going to put in some storage, so we need to actually work out a floor level. Now I'm going to put in a hopper ring at this level where these are, and then below that I'm going to put in a sorting system, and then I'm going to have a floor. Now you don't really need more than sort of 3 high chests, to be honest. But it doesn't really matter, so I'm just going to put in a floor at this level here. So that's on the lower half slab yet again for the ladder. So let's just creep out there. So if you see that, that was placed right on the bottom half of the ladder block, so that you get a lower half slab. And then I'm going to just build this out a little bit, give myself a bit of space to work and be able to see up and put things in place as I wish. So let's go ahead and build that, and I'll be back in a moment. Right, so I've got my little platform area in here, and I've actually decided that I want all of my hoppers to feed up to this corner right here. So I'm going to do a little sort of circular thing. So where are my hoppers? Hoppers. I should know this better. I should really tidy my inventory as well. So I'm going to put in my first hopper right there. And then thereafter I'm going to be feeding in the hoppers into its side all the way along. So I'm just running this all the way along this level here, so that I can basically have as much or as little storage as I want going across here. Now what I should do actually is stop there, because I want them to line up with this set of hoppers here. So if I take away these blocks that we placed in at the beginning of the tutorial for us to be able to place things where we wanted them. Let's get rid of you. So what I like to do is I've missed out some of those, haven't I? I've got them facing down and all over the place. Let's get rid of them. Let's change it back there, and you there. Come on, you. There. Right, that's better. So what I like to do is have them running in like a little sort of circular thingy going all the way around and meeting up with all of these as they go. And then the final stage that they get to is going to be to go into the chests, really, in the sorting system. So let's just fill those out. Right, so that's basically what you should have. So it starts off at one side here, just flows all the way around. It's going to catch up all of the hoppers that we've already put in place, and then it's going to reach up to here. Now this one right here I'm going to use as the bin end. So this is going to feed straight into the bin, and yeah, where should we have that? Oh, we'll sort that out last, because we need to deal with a lot of other things first. So up here on this side I'm going to have, let's see, might as well have sort of 6 chests starting from here. Whoops, it's already doing its job, sort of. So I want to put in some blocks right here. So that's 6. And I want to put in the hoppers facing straight into those blocks that I've just placed. And then directly underneath those, I'm going to put in some more blocks. Now, if this isn't clear to anyone, this is going to be the sorting system. Because, yeah, I like my items sorted as I go. So I'm taking out this top set of blocks I placed in, and I'm going to get my comparators. Where are my comparators? There they are. Great, and we're going to have comparators on each one of those facing outwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm actually going to have a extra set of chests right here. This is going to be the 7th set of chests, but that's going to be completely unsorted. So that's just going to catch up anything that gets this far. Anything that hasn't been sorted up to this point will get caught up here. Now I've done this a couple of times, and sometimes you get the odd nugget that makes it this far, or the odd ingot. So this is a bit of a fail-safe again. Once these chests are full, then it goes across to the bin and they get killed. So that's what we're going to do there. So to do that, I'm going to place that going straight down like that. Right, so next I'm going to get some chests in place. So I'm going to put these ones in like that. I'm going to get my chests, and I'm just going to place them. Let's see, is this right? Yeah, I've got this right. So 1, 2, 3, and when we get here, we're going to have an extra one right there. So let's just put that there as a temporary block to place our chest against. Whoops, like that. And I'm going to step them out by 2 because I like the chest like this. And then I'm going to get some trap chests and do exactly the same right next to them. So I don't need the ender chests anymore. Whoops. Like this. 1, 2, boom, boom. Right, and then I'm going to run those all the way down to the ground, exactly the same. So there and there. And if you can't tell, I'm shift clicking all the time on this, which is, it sort of slows me down because it makes you creep, but it makes sure that you place them right. So like that. Now this should be enough storage for any right-minded person, really. If you need more storage than this, I sort of feel like you've probably got problems, or you're not keeping things tidy. That's probably the issue. So we go there, 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 there. So that's all of our items storage sorted, and we just need to deal with actually filtering the items now. So let's get some more hoppers in first, and we want hoppers going into the back of all of these. There we go. That's all the hoppers in. Now we can take that one away because that one's going to be unsorted. That's just going to gather up anything that's coming out. Now next up, we want to build up this little sorting system. So I'm going to come back 2 to there, and then I'm going to go across like that to there. And I'm going to do the same there, all the way across. And then I want to create a gap. So I want to have this kind of arrangement. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We've got the comparators facing out. We've got this kind of configuration, and then we're going to get some repeaters and face them in. Now let's get rid of this rubbish. Don't need that. And there you go, in like this. And then directly on top of them, we're going to have another set of blocks. And then directly behind them, we're going to have another set of blocks, exactly like that. So coming straight across there like that. And then finally, well, not quite finally, but nearly finally, we want redstone on all of these here. And now finally we want to get our torches and place them here on all of those. Right, so that's what you should now have. So this is our sorting system. So this is going to register when there's an item in there, and depending on the number of items in there, it's going to power across here. And when there's enough power, it will power this repeater, which will then unpower this torch, which unlocks the hopper right there. Because that torch is powering that, which is powering the hopper, I think. But basically this works. That's all that you really need to know. Now I'm going to slab across the top of all of this in a moment or two, but what we really need to do is get some items in there. So let's just grab up some stuff that we might want. It's already sorting through it. So yeah, these are the things that we want. Now first off, I would go straight in with the ingots. And what we need is some signs. You're going to need a load of signs for this, because signs stack in 16s. You can use anything that stacks in 16s because they give off a different sort of power signal, whatever that means. Anyway, so we go into there. I'm going to dump in a whole stack of them and then fill up the other 4 slots with signs. Now that's going to count down until it reaches, I think, 27 or something. I can't quite remember. So there we go. It's hit 29. That's filtered through now, and they've been allowed to drop to the bottom, and they should all be sat in here. So that's the spare. Now I like to have 2 of these set up for the ingots. So let's do the same again and run those across, and then we move on to the next one and we do that for the ingots. Sorry, these are the ingots, the others are the nuggets. And there we go, that's that. That will count down to 27. And then we're going to need a whole load of storage for rotten flesh. Now it's your choice whether you keep it. I tend to like to keep it just for the trading and such, just in case, because it's not a bad trade and it's, you know, free of charge, so why not? So let's put that in there, and done. So all of these will be counting down. There we go, looking good. So that when things die, it's going to drop down to here, and we've got a little bit of extra in all of these just because of the way that we just set it up. There we go, and anything that's not any of the previous ones is going to land in there. Now the reason I like this is because sometimes you get ingots and you get nuggets making it this far, so it's nice to be able to just have a little look and see. Now let's just put down some solid blocks so it doesn't look like things are floating around in space again. Just don't like that look, it needs to look kind of solid, you know. Now here at the back here, let's just grab up some of those, going up, and then I can grab up another one of those and go across the top with it. Now I want to put these all the way to the back, so like that. So you'll still be able to open your chests without any problem because it's half slab, so you can use stairs or whatever you want above these. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I want to plan where my bin is going to go. Now I want my bin to actually go right here, but I want it to be up a couple of blocks, so I want it on that level, and I'm going to run that up a little bit, and then run that up a little bit, and then that across. So it just helps me plan if we've got things in place a little bit. So I'm going to put down a double chest like that. Right, so now that we've got the double chest in there for the front, for the bin, we can start planning where things are going to go. So I want to go down, 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 and then I want to go out by one. So I want to get my dispenser. I'm going to put a temporary one in there and just have it facing out like that. No, not like that. Like that. And then I'm going to get another hopper and face it straight into the back of that dispenser, and then another one into the back of there, and one into there. Come on, out my way. There we go. So basically I've got my overflow line running down into that dispenser, and I've got my bin line running into that dispenser. So now we just need to organise this so that it'll automatically throw out anything that appears inside it. so I lost a little bit of audio on that last little section here, so this is basically the setup that you need. I actually turned the dropper around from where it was to face in another direction just so the access was a little bit easier with this little circuit here. And just to be clear, this needs to be on subtract, and you need to put some slabs on top of these bits just to make sure that you don't get any spawns down here that are going to cause you problems. But yeah, when you put some items in there, let's see, have we got any items kicking around that we don't want? Yeah, just a few. Let's grab those, chuck them in the bin. I can hear the kicking. And that's just basically checking whether something's in there, strengthening the signal, running it around, turning it into a clock, and powering the dispenser to get rid of them. Right, so we're actually done, basically. That is everything finished. The only thing that we really need to do now is to give it a test. So let's get up here and stand in the middle. Let's give myself an arrow. Let's see. Arrow. And let's just put that in there for future reference. Switch my game mode 0, and grab that. I'm going to knock my levels back down as well, so levels 100. Not thinking straight. Groover, and go. So I've got 0 levels and we're ready to go. So let's just shoot you and stand here and wait. Right, nearly there, and bang, powered straight through it. That didn't take long, and that little section was in real time, so that should give you a pretty clear idea of exactly how long it takes to get up to level 30 with this thing. Right, so I think that's basically everything done that we need to do, and look at these guys still running in there. It's brilliant. When I go back, there's going to be a whole pile of XP just waiting to get pushed up. So once you come back, you'll get a real glut. Oh, there we go, look at that. Level 35. Too much for me to take in. Okay, brilliant. Right then guys, thank you very much for watching this tutorial all the way here to see this special message. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this has been a useful build, and I hope you put it to some good application. I've really enjoyed it. I found it very efficient. When I've actually been looking at it in testing and things, in F3 mode and various things, there isn't actually much XP left anywhere on this. Where I've seen with the slime and the ice method, you sometimes have some XP just lying around on the slime and on the ice more than anything, and it relies on the player being there to actually get the XP to them. So if there's nobody there, then you lose that XP basically, but this, you never lose the XP. So I hope you enjoyed it anyway. If you have watched it all the way here, please do leave a like. Let me know that you've seen the entire thing. In fact, if you've seen the entire thing, leave me a message down below in the comments section just saying thank you very much, and I'll know that you watched it all the way through. So thank you very much, hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like. If you want to see some more of this, please do subscribe, and we'll see you again. Goodbye.